Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Greetings to you, and 10,000 blessings on your head. It's your boy, Reverend Phoenix Coughlin Williams, and I'm coming back with episode 7 of season 2 of Fridays with Phoenix. And we are going to stay on our Kemetic spirituality kick. Reason being, I do have 15 points of discussion mapped out for this season. And I do want to get through those. And also Kemetic spirituality and magic and Corellian approaches to Egyptian divinities is that's like my gateway into the magical world. That's my gateway into magical spirituality. And I do appreciate sharing it. I appreciate connecting with others over it. And I do also believe that uh, a strong foundation in Kemeticism really does allow for an expanded uh, worldview. You start to recognize the influence of the Egyptian empire on everything that was adjacent to it and the things that came after it, and still to many of the symbols that we utilize today. And so I do think that, um, in addition, there's the statement that wherever the Kemetic traditions have gone, empires have risen. And I think that that's a powerful statement that justifies that personal study, that group study into these teachings. Last time I broadcasted, I did a brief overview of the Assyrian mythology. Sar, Set, Sutek, Nebtet, Heru, Anpu, the murder of Asar and the resurrection of Asar, and the birth of Heru, and so on and so forth, and the characteristics that um, played a role in that mythos. That the divinities, they do also, in addition to representing great spiritual forces of creation and great principles of creation, and emanations that originate in a different plane from our own, they also represent components of our own personality and emanations of, or like they are kind of implanted on um, the way that we interpret things or experience things. They're parts of our minds and our experiences. Almost like a precursor, almost like a precursor to archetypes. And so when our personality is dominated by a certain emanation, it does lead to certain kinds of expressions in our behavior. And so it is appropriate to say that someone who is destructive, someone who is confusing emotionally, someone prone to tantrums, someone who values might and violence over reason and diplomacy might be said to have a personality that is dominated by set. And it could also be said that someone who is prone to researching things for themselves, someone who can keep track of vast amounts of information, someone who not only has access to the knowledge, someone who not only knows the information but knows the appropriate way to apply it, might be said to have a personality that is dominated by Tahuti. Like likewise, someone who knows how to make good decisions, someone who ranks high in discernment. Excuse me. You might say that they have a personality that is dominated by Anpu. Someone who is highly materialistic and who knows for certain what their preferences are and who will experience um, struggles with or an aversion to parting from their comforts or their preferences might be someone with a Nebhet or Nephthys dominated personality. And so that's the gap right there between the mythology and the psychology. Because having a personality dominated by or mixed in various degrees with any of these principles produces types of behaviors, produces types of worldviews. As Corellians, we would say that would be how they are approaching the veil. That is how the veil is impacting them. Um, and the degree to which someone's higher self and their relation to their higher self is developed is their ability to tap into the greater power that's actually afforded to having a personality that's dominated by impressions of divinity. This is one of the ways that we can celebrate the ancient maxim as above, so below. So, as the gods are principled in creation, so are they in our personalities. Furthermore, when it comes to Kemetic spirituality, it's a couple of ways, three ways really, that you gotta participate in it in order to get the benefits, in order to get the rewards, in order to receive the promises that are offered by the the Neteru. One is reviewing sacred texts, reviewing sacred teachings, reviewing sacred writings. That means listening to them by elders, listening to them by teachers, listening to them by the clergy. It means participating in ritual, and it means meditating on them. And in this way, doing all three of these things, you are better able to internalize what is being conveyed, and it purifies your personality. It purifies our personalities, leading us to higher forms of behavior, higher vibration, better occurrences with our karmic lessons, better insight when it comes to resolving karmic issues. It allows us to tap into and traverse the ladder towards enlightenment. In the service that I'm doing in Buffalo tomorrow, we are going to be talking about Set and how she is the Queen of Heaven and is the principle that goes along with enlightenment. And we talk about her relationship to her twin sister, who is literally the embodiment of all things physical, the fashioner of bodies in the most densest form, and how they're twins is a mystery. And so, listening to the story, reading the story, meditating on the story, and then experiencing ritual related to the story will allow folks to embody the principle a whole lot easier, purifying the personality, leading to changes in behavior, changes in experiences with impulses, leads to participation in more spiritual activities, leads to increased discernment between what is a heated personality or a cool personality. And in Kemetic spirituality and Kemetic psychology, the heated personality is the personality that identifies very heavily with what is offered by Nebtet and by Sutek, by Nephthys and by Set. The cool personality is the personality that is more closely dominated by what is offered by Asar and Aset. And then an adepted personality or an ascended personality is a personality that is dominated by Heru, who's Horus, that is dominated by Ma'at, that is dominated by Hathor, Heru, that is dominated by Tahuti. Um, and each of those personalities have, of course, like their own whole array of behaviors that they're known for, and they offer different things, to the development of a personality that's coming into alignment. And so it's good for people who are interested in working with the Egyptian spirits and their spirituality to also listen to and read the mythologies and experience them in public and private ritual. It is important to have a personal relationship with the divinities that you are working with. However, it is equally as essential for you to have experiences with the public as well, with groups as well. That way, you're not, experiencing, delusions. That way, you're not, psyching yourself up or tripping yourself up, or that your ego is not running away with you. That's why group work is also important when you're developing as a magical practitioner, and if you develop in as a community member, if you develop in, as a person, as a leader, it takes place in community. And the Kemetic spirituality does prepare you, the Kemetic philosophy does prepare you, the Kemetic psychology does prepare you to participate in any of these roles that you might be looking to participate in as a result of, you know, um, hearing the call towards ministry. But back to the personalities. The heated personalities are everywhere. It is taught that. And if you are interested in learning more about these teachings, you can look for the sage, who's an ancestor now. Amen Emopet. And if I remember, I will include the name in the comments section where this is posted. But the teachings of Amen Emopet, he's a sage and an ancestor, said that the heated personalities are everywhere. You will find someone who is quarrelsome. You will find someone who is agitated. You will find someone who is agita. You will find someone who is untoward. You will find someone who's prone to arguing. Like, you know, these all don't have to exist within like one person, although they can. However, you will find someone with any or many of these heated kind of qualities. They're the yeah buts. They are the ones who will listen to suggestions all day, every day about ways to make their life or their condition better, but will not actually put any of them into practice, but will come back next week to listen to another list of suggestions. There's the kind of people who will use technicality. And so, like, these are the kind of heated, they're the ones who, like, kind of make you want to go, oh, but you know what I'm talking about, or you know what's going on here. I know you are looking at the same thing that I am looking at. These are the people who will engage in physical altercations. These are the kinds of people who will strike children or hit children. Um, these are the kind of people who will engage in a battle of wills for the sake of attention. All of these are components of the heated personality. And according to the teachings of Amen Emopet, you really just want to let them be them. As soon as they start demonstrating the symptoms of, or as soon as they start demonstrating the qualities of their heated personalities, that's when you just want to go ahead and disengage. Do not let their heatedness start to heat up your personality in any way. If you are someone who is a cool personality, you don't want them heating you up into any form of agitation. You don't want them disturbing your peace in any way. If you are someone who is of a moderate, lukewarm personality, you don't want them heating you up any further into a place where you are agitated, disturbing your peace, you getting triggered or what have you. And the reason why Amen Emopet says to avoid them, just like let them be them, is because that is who they are and that is who they are going to be, barring any kind of act of like real devastation. The people with the heated personalities, they will burn through people like a new one's born every day. And, they will not recognize that it's their heated personality, their yeah buts, that really prevent them from having the close relationships, the intimate relationships. It's these aspects of their personalities that makes it kind of unsatisfactory to be around them, even like in the workplace or even in family functions. Like these heated personalities, like you recognize them when you see them. Especially like listening to me right now, you might be like, oh no, like I know someone with a heated personality, or even better, you're the one with the heated personality. But when you rise into this place of the heated personality, or if you let someone with a heated personality heat you up, then the heat just keeps passing around, and then you have the potential for unrest. You have the potential for disunion. You have the potential for what is known as the disruption of ma'at or mayat. Things fall out of justice, out of truth, out of order, out of harmony, which is really at the core of the issues with the heated personality, is that they very frequently encourage disharmony. The important thing to recognize, and that might be, a great discussion of a different mystery, is you can have a personality that is dominated by Set or by Neptet, or dominated by the union of Set and Neptet, or what have you. And you can be someone who is very, strong-willed in all of what seems to be the wrong ways. However, the mystery is that Set and Neptet are both divine. They are both children of God. They are both aspects of God. And so while the heated personality might cause friction in relationships, might have a liking towards chaos over order, who might have a liking towards, the destructive aspect of things, or the unruly aspect of things, or the lone wolf aspect of things. It's also a part of divine cosmic order somehow. It might be a decent place to stop for personality. Oh, no, no, you know what? No, there is one more thing that I want to say. Participating in rituals with clergy, getting cleansed, getting blessed, getting anointed, getting attuned, participating in conversations about the teachings. These are all beneficial. I do broadcast the monthly ones that I've been doing. There are a bunch of other Kemetic spirituality channels where, of course, you can find teachings on. Um, but also doing prayers that are aimed at aligning your personality so that it's less heated or more cooled, aligning your personality with some of the principles that you might feel you are lacking as a result of some shadow work. So if you feel you're lacking discernment, prayers with Anpu and blessings from Anpu might be a thing that you participate in as a way of balancing that. If you find that you are someone who is prone to rage, and it is righteous and it is warranted and it is based in justice, then maybe you want to do some work with Het Heru and maybe take a step back away from participating in the Sekhmet kind of aspects of ritual as a way of purifying, balancing, aligning your personality, so on and so forth. I will leave it there for now. And of course, if you know how to find me, or actually, I would love if you left some comments about your perspectives about what I was sharing. Leave some comments where you're viewing at. I would love to see how this landed for you, and how you will either incorporate or reject some of the stuff that I have said. Until next time, blessed be. Take it easy, okay?